It's weird, and that's why I think that there's some sort of an atmospheric animal type of situation going on right now. And we don't see them. For some reason, they evolved this way. For some reason, Earth was not good enough for them. Or maybe they're just used,
in the atmosphere.
or maybe
they
actually live in the atmosphere. What do they eat? They eat plankton.
And that's in the atmosphere.
That's in the atmosphere.
Just like in the sea.
Exactly.
The whales gather up plankton.
Exactly. That's what these things
So this is like a sea up there.
Exactly. Well, it's a 12-inch made along with an A6000. It's called an Alpha 6000. It's by Sony. It's got a huge number of megapixels, and it's important to
get the definition.
Exactly, the definition. Right here is the zoom. There's a, I think it starts with what is it? It's 24 millimeters, which starts at like 100 times. But you can actually turn this down to 8 times, which is like pretty much about 400 times zoom and stuff like that. So these are pictures, actual high definition pictures that they end up taking, and they say that these are artifacts. But I'm not sure. Well, you know cameras and stuff. If there was an artifact here, 1 second later, the artifact would be here.
Yes.
Right. So if you take a look at some of these things, I blew them up. This is my pictures.
Okay.
I blew them up. This is what they see. And you can see that these pictures, 1 second later, you can see that these are different. So it's just, it's weird. And that's why I think that there's some sort of an atmospheric animal type of situation going on right now. And we don't see them. For some reason, they evolved this way. For some reason, Earth was not good enough for them. Or maybe they're just
live
used,
in the atmosphere.
or maybe
See,
they actually live in the atmosphere. What do they eat? They eat plankton.
And that's in the atmosphere.
That's in the atmosphere.
Just like in the sea.
Exactly.
The whales gather up plankton.
Exactly. That's what these things.
So this is like a sea up there.
Exactly.
But wouldn't the space shuttle run into them?
No, I think that they're just. Well, I think every once in a while they'll end up seeing a big one, like an astronaut. An astronaut will go, I swear, I saw a snake up there. The space shuttle is traveling 17,500 miles an hour, so they're just snapping pictures.
But how would they see them if they're going by
when
so
they're
fast?
stopped?
If those artifacts are still.
Well, yeah. So you can see that these are the pictures. Yeah. Actually, if you take a look at atmosphericanimal's.com, I own that. So you can see one picture after another, and there's just too many pictures for me to print up and stuff. But you'll see like little artifacts on every single one of them. They're not artifacts. They're actual, I think, atmospheric
How big
animals.
are they?
I don't know. Take a guess. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see.
And won't they start bouncing off the space shuttle? Like
I think
roadkill?
Just because we can't see any fish, if we stick our head in the ocean and look around, doesn't mean there's no fish.
Right. You look around, you may not see anything.
Right. Exactly.
But there's billions of fish.
Exactly.
In the
I
ocean.
think that's what we're seeing.
Wow.
Here. But I also think that some of them you don't know. I think that some of them, who knows? I don't know. Maybe from what we see are like atmospheric animals that actually follow the mechanical stuff. It's either they're like mechanical or the biological and stuff.
Very interesting.
So take a look.
They live in the atmosphere. They eat the plankton of the atmosphere.
Exactly.
And
That's how they
that
survive.
way.
Exactly.
It
And
could
every
be
once in a
full
while
of
we
them.
see them, and I think we end up seeing them on on YouTube videos for the NASA. They record some of these things. You're kind of like, oh, that's.
Well,
kinda
they're
interesting.
always blanking out pictures, right? The feed because
Right,
they
exactly.
see too much stuff. up there.
Exactly. This one, these guys are exactly the same thing. And what we've noticed is that sometimes they'll flare, and when they flare, they shine. These guys
Looks like a car or something, a little child's car.
It was these are from video. I actually captured these things on video. These pictures are of the same thing I caught on December 8th, 2013. I think over in Hollydale Park, where we were supposed to go yesterday and stuff. So I know it was the 8th because it was my mother's birthday. Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, we took a bunch of pictures. These are pictures from the videos that we ended up seeing. And then like 2 days or 3 days later, I end up looking on the internet, and you could see that they have these like little dimples right over here. You know, I mean, they all kind of look kind of weird, but you could see that there's things at the very end. A couple of days later, I see these pictures on the internet. You know, like these little dimples and everything else and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Looks like a diamond ring.
I'm thinking, you know, Fausto must have taken some of these pictures, and he put them on the internet too. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And then I take a look. This is from Phil Galea on December 8th, 2013, from Ilford, England. And it was put up on this worldufophotos.org, which is run by this guy, Ken Pfeiffer, the chief investigator from MUFON over in New Jersey. So these are not my pictures. These were taken on this exact same day over in England. But some of these I caught over here in Silmar. This one was like a half crescent, and then all of a sudden, I have this one on video. There's this orb that like passes right by them. I'm kind of into orbs, and they have these things. I call them markers. These like balloon-looking things, these balloon-looking structures. Okay, it looks like a balloon. So they'll actually use aerial phenomenon in order to
They put
to
this
say,
out.
hey, check this out. They might put it out. They might not put it out. I mean, it could be a
Atmospheric guidepost, signpost,
it could be
mile marker.
we call it a marker. I mean, it could be just something that says, hey, look at this, and everybody's drawn to it, and all of a sudden, bam, something will fly right by it and stuff like that. So this was
That looks like a fist.
I think this might have been one of my first captures. We captured this one over January.
Looks like an old European telephone.
Look at this.
Look.
Oh, it looks like
I have it on
seahorse.
video. It looks like a seahorse. This is not mechanical.
Yeah,
This is not mechanical. It's biological. And you know, now I have this one on video. You can see it. It's spinning and stuff. Look at this. It looks like a vein.
Oh,
You can
wow.
see it. It looks like a vein.
But these are atmospheric creatures.
These are atmospheric creatures, which, I mean, I'm telling you, if you take a look at some of the bacteria that's out there, the bacteria will have a phyla, some sort of a stalk, or some sort of like a sperm will have like a tail on it and stuff like that. Some of these things look like, that's why we end up getting hassled from online and stuff, because they look like balloons. Some of them don't follow the patterns. For example,
they reproduce and everything up in the sky.
for example, this
Wow.
one. Look at this.
Wow.
I think that's a sperm looking for.
So
does
you
look
could
like
see,
that.
You could see now if you take a look at this picture. This is a balloon
Yes.
with a streamer.
Yes.
This is a streamer.
Yes.
This is a streamer.
Yes.
Okay, it's 1/20th of an inch. Okay, it's 1/20th of an inch. You should be
You're
able
not
to take 60 of these things, 60 of them, side by side by side, 60, to make up
the width of that.
Yeah.
the
Yes.
width, okay?
Yes.
If you put 60 of them side by side, if you put
Yes.
them this way, okay, now
Yeah,
it's a different
yeah,
story and stuff. How many side by side can you put aside to make up the width of this balloon?
Don't know. Have you done the measurements?
No, you could take a look. What,
Maybe 4 or 5.
Five?
Yeah.
Five?
Yeah.
How thick must that be? You know, it's not real. I ended up just doing
Oh,
it.
you mean to prove that it's not a
Yeah.
Mylar
That
balloon?
it's not a Mylar balloon,
Right,
correct?
right, because it's
so
too big.
But
It's
if
too
you showed the average person,
They would say that's a balloon.
what is this?
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
balloon.
balloon.
If it
You
shows
guys are
balloon, it's
crazy.
gone up into the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
But the measurements
But look at
don't pan out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at it. If you show people this, it's a
Yeah, I
balloon.
know.
They always
It's a-
thought the ocean was the last bastion of things to be discovered. Wrong. It's the atmosphere.
Atmosphere.